I'm here today to talk to you about the privatization of education and how that could affect you or someone you know. So, what is privatization? Privatization of education means that public education funds and students would be shifted into the private sector. This would mean that the government and public institutions would no longer be responsible and the education system would be deregulated. Instead, private agencies and individuals would be in charge of setting the standards and making the decisions on policies. Recently, there has been a trend of emerging programs and policies that are being used as a way to encourage students to attend private schools. For example, education vouchers and school choice are the main strategies that are being used to encourage privatization of education. Educational vouchers are like coupons that issue students a certain amount of funding that they could use annually to enroll in an eligible school. This can only benefit a certain group of students, unlike the public school system, which gives access to every student, not just those that fit the criteria. In this next clip, you'll hear a woman explain why she disagrees with educational vouchers.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, the Florida Supreme Court decided a few years ago that vouchers were unconstitutional. Not only do they divert money away from public schools, many of these vouchers will go to religious schools. We all have the right to freely make our own choices about supporting religious groups.
This undermines our democracy because every student won't be able to participate because some families can't afford private schools. School choice would allow students to pick which school they want to attend and not the one they are assigned to in their community. While that may sound appealing at first, it is important to know that taxpayer funds are being diverted to go towards these private and religious schools, which allows these voucher programs to weaken our nation's public schools. So in order for these private and religious schools to prosper, public schools would have to get their funding reduced, and this would affect everyone who works for or attends public schools. Another way that privatization has a negative effect on the education system is seen in higher education with borrowed student loans. For example, one of the reasons that so many students are in debt due to student loans is primarily because back in the 1990s, the federal government gave up control of the student loan program, which made it available for banks and for-profit corporations. This occurred through the privatization of Sallie Mae, which gave the student loan program to private industries. At first, this program's purpose was to help students who wanted to go to college. However, after it became privatized, its primary goal is to make profit. So it is evident that our education system is a profit-driven business, and its primary goal is to make money rather than provide our nation's students with a good quality education. The main person that encourages privatization is Betsy DeVos, our Secretary of Education. She has said that public schools are a dead end and believes that privatization is the solution to fixing the education system. However, the things I have mentioned prove that privatization in the education system only benefits the ones that are profiting off of the students in America. The following clip shows a group of protesters blocking DeVos from entering a public school because they strongly oppose her and her policies such as private school vouchers.
Don't let her in the public schools right now. Come on, man. Do not let her in.
Bring money to senators and find your way to the position. You should be so proud of yourself. Go back. Shame! 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 Shame!
Public education is the best way to provide equal opportunity to students as long as the system behind it provides quality resources to enhance optimal student learning. So for those of us that believe public education is important and should not be privatized, then we need to work together to prevent privatization from taking over our education system. If you want to join the movement to stop DeVos, then go to this website to sign the petition because America's students need our support.